let's say if you're a small business owner and you own a boutique, you're busy running your boutique. Most of the time, you don't have enough empty time in your schedule to do your own bookkeeping. And that's why I think it's so important for people to know that bookkeepers are needed.
I love bookkeeping.
Hi, everybody, and thank you for listening to the I Love Bookkeeping podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about, does bookkeeping have a future? This is such a huge question when it comes to bookkeeping because there's a lot of talk of IA and artificial intelligence taking over bookkeeping and replacing the old-fashioned, quote unquote, bookkeeper. Today, we're going to be really diving into the future of bookkeeping and what we think it's going to look like. Hi, Melissa. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. And I have to say that 100% bookkeeping has a future. For the past 5 years, 6 years that I've been in business, I have been told by just countless people that bookkeeping would be obsolete in 5 years. Yeah, this isn't obsolete. It's still going strong. It's never been better. And I just think that, anybody that thinks that bookkeeping is going to be obsolete really just doesn't understand the value of a good bookkeeper.
I'm not a bookkeeper. So coming from the other side, working on our marketing team and talking to a lot of prospects, that's one of the biggest questions and the biggest comments we get is, this is going to be obsolete. There is, a robot's going to take over. A computer's going to do it for you. And I think it's so important that people understand that this is such a relationship focused industry. A computer can do anything, but a computer cannot reach out to you and help you do other things just besides bookkeeping.
That is so true. But honestly, the technology isn't even there where a computer can do everything. It can't replace us. We all know QuickBooks does not have subjectivity. You go in the bank feed and it says there's a match and you're just going to laugh because their match makes no sense. And, the software, right. It just sees numbers. It just sees data inputs. It's not there yet where it can differentiate between, a client making a large materials purchase because there's a sale going on at that vendor, or, were they just making a payment to that store's card? QuickBooks isn't going to know that yet. And so you really do need that experience and, that ability to, differentiate between those things that, software is just not going to replace. So even beyond, I agree with you, Hannah, the relationship aspect is it's just irreplaceable and it will always be. But really at the end of the day, even, somebody that just wants to be a bookkeeper and I don't want to talk to clients and, I just want to do the background bookkeeping. Look, you're better than a computer. A computer can't replace you.
Yeah. And looking, on the flip side of the business perspective of somebody who is looking for a bookkeeper, I've noticed that a lot of businesses, especially small businesses, they're looking for bookkeepers because they don't have the time to do their own bookkeeping. And so I think that's something that's really important for people to hear about the future of bookkeeping is that bookkeepers are needed to do this entire job because let's be honest, if you own, let's say, if you're a small business owner and you own a boutique, you're busy running your boutique. You don't have, most of the time, you don't have enough empty time in your schedule to do your own bookkeeping. And that's why I think it's so important for people to know that bookkeepers are needed. Yes, it is a relationship-based industry, in my opinion. But bookkeepers are so wanted because it's kind of a job that a lot of people don't want to do. Do you agree? Do you find that with your clients?
I do. And, you actually just made me think about, I had a sales call yesterday with a client and he brought up the book, Who, Not How. And he was almost selling himself on my services before I even had the chance. Because exactly what you said, Hannah, he's like, I don't have the time And I know that I'm capable of doing this, but I don't want to because my time is better spent on my business.
Exactly.
And it's better spent on things that will generate money for their business, not that back end tasks. I'm sure many business owners could figure out bookkeeping, but it's not the best thing for them to spend their time on. And so that's where I go to the clients and I say, look, I'm an expert. I have already done all of the things that you would need to do to become a bookkeeper. I'm already here. We could start today. Do you want to spend 20 hours a week struggling on how to do, your just basic bookkeeping and then realize that you forgot to do a payroll liabilities journal entry and now, you're going to need a cleanup at the end of the year before you can file taxes? Like, no, just delegate now. Make sure that it's done right. And I'm here to take care of you. And I think that's, a big benefit to clients everywhere is knowing that there's somebody else in their corner helping them, because being a business owner is scary and it can feel lonely sometimes if you don't have the community like we have here at bookkeepers.com. And so a lot of business owners that I meet with, they're just sold knowing, I know that at the end of the day, Melissa's going to take care of me on the back end. And she's going to make sure that, no matter what happened on the ground today, I know my bookkeeping is taken care of. I know my taxes are going to be taken care of and that there's somebody in my corner.
Yeah. Well, and I think another great point to bring up is that bookkeeping is very tech focused. And technology can be hard for a lot of people, especially with how ever evolving technology is. I feel like even in the last year, there's been so many changes just to, social media and news. And that's a whole other thing we could get into. But
man.
The point is that it's hard. It's a lot of work and something that I think bookkeepers are really well versed on is evolving with technology.
Yes.
Not only with technology, but with how the industry is changing. Kind of circling back to, I know our last episode, we talked about how you kind of have the freedom to evolve in this industry. And so I think one of the biggest points about the future of bookkeeping is that it's there because it's always going to evolve and it's always going to have something new. And people are always going to need it because bookkeepers can catch up quickly with the industry, but not everybody else can.
I think that's so true. And as being a business owner is so hard with everything that you need to do on the ground that, adding something new, like, a new software, like switching from desktop to QuickBooks Online, that is so emotionally exhausting for them because they knew how to run their business on desktop, right? But they know, that moving to QuickBooks Online might be the best chance for them, for them to evolve, right? But
right,
it's such an emotionally exhausting experience that if you are a bookkeeper and you can make that easier for them, they will just, that's a forever client, right? I've done about a dozen of those in the past year, and it is just so just warming to be able to essentially, virtually take their hand and say, hey, this is going to be tough, but I'm here to support you. I know this software. And so I can show you what you need to know and you don't have to worry about it. There's just so many opportunities for bookkeepers to learn the technology of the niche that they work with to help their clients. That would just be invaluable to their clients. As an example, we work with painting businesses. And so we've got to know a lot of software. I know painters inside and out, and that's something that technology is really never going to do. So for instance, I know, one of the biggest CRMs that they use is Paint Scout. And I know how it integrates with QuickBooks Online, and I know how the software works. And so when my clients have a question, I'm educated enough in the software to help them. And that's something my competitors can't do, because they're not really versed in the niche. So, learning that technology of my niche has been so important to show my niche, not only that we're educated, but that I care about them and I care about their experience enough to learn more about them and their business.
Today's show is brought to you by Keeper, the one app to run your bookkeeping business. Keeper helps you get faster client responses with your own custom branded QuickBooks integrated client portal. Finally, you can say goodbye to those pesky spreadsheets full of uncategorized transactions. Keeper also helps you catch those embarrassing coding errors before your clients do. And with Keeper, you can generate beautiful custom reports that your clients will absolutely love to read. To find out more, go to keeper.app. That's keeper.app. Mention I Love Bookkeeping to get 20% off your first 3 months. Again, go to keeper.app to find out more. Thank you for listening. And what's something that, as such a successful business owner, if somebody came to you and said, look, what are the benefits to hiring a bookkeeper versus doing it myself? What are a couple of things that really stand out in your mind that make it more beneficial for a business to hire or to outsource their bookkeeping versus doing it themselves or attempting to automate it themselves?
That is a great question. As a salesperson, I always love to go with the numbers. And, it definitely depends on your niche. But in my niche, a business owner that is still working in the estimation and sales, the money making side of their business, they can sell anywhere on average from $250 to $500 an hour. And so I always like to turn that around to them and say, okay, how many hours are you currently spending trying to do your own bookkeeping, right? Because we know it's not very few and far between. Are they really doing the bookkeeping to the best of the possibility of bookkeeping, right? Because they may not know. They might, be DIYing. And so a lot of times I hear from clients, I spend 5 to 6 hours a week. Okay, well, take that let's say 5 hours a week, 20 hours a month, and multiply that even just by the lowest dollar of, the $250 an hour you could be selling times that $20. So what you're saying is that by doing your own bookkeeping, you are potentially losing a minimum of $5,000 a month in sales. Now,
wow,
I'm only charging you 20% of that or, more depending on the size of the client. And it's going to be done. It's going to be done right. And then not only will it be done correctly, but I'm going to give you reports and advise you on how to take those reports back to your business so that you can actually make more money. So not only am I going to save you money by doing your bookkeeping, but I can help you make more money. And then my tax department is going to help you minimize your tax liability so that you can save even more money on taxes. And so it really is a no-brainer, I feel like, to them, because at first, if people don't really understand bookkeeping, they are just thinking, oh man, I'm just giving them $1,000 a month to do something that I could do, but they don't really understand. And so I find that I'm the best and the worst salesperson in a way that, I don't even try to sell people on our services anymore. I just see myself as an educator. I just go slowly. I save, put lots of time aside so that I can just say, hey, do you actually know what bookkeeping is? Let me tell you how QuickBooks works, what bank feeds are. Do you understand what reconciliation really means? Let me take the time to educate you on it, whether we're a good fit or not. I want you to go into your next meeting with my competitor being more informed on what it is that you actually need.
And I think that's something that I can kind of circle back to what a person can do versus an automation system, because what you're doing is not only are you helping people, you're giving them the information that they need that they probably didn't know. And I think that's such an important reason why bookkeeping as an industry is here to stay, because you can offer information and help people, but also catch things that they could be doing better and ultimately make them more money, and everybody benefits. I don't think, I think I agree. I think it's a no-brainer that hiring a bookkeeper versus having an automation system is beneficial to your business, even though I think some people, I think their drawback is paying for it. And what I hope people realize is that outsourcing things like that, where you're not the expert, especially when it comes to finances, it's going to make you more money in the long run.
Yeah.
Because, and I think that's such an important point that, that people need to think about when it comes to hiring a bookkeeper.
And I want to touch on that where, we're talking about being experts, and there's a lot of new bookkeepers that don't feel like experts. And there's a lot of, experienced bookkeepers like myself that don't feel like experts. I definitely struggle with self-doubt, just like anybody does. And so I want to tell them that you don't have to be the expert right away. That's something that you learn and you grow and you become the expert over time. The biggest thing that you need going into a bookkeeping business is honestly just customer service. That is just beyond the doubt the number one pain point that clients come to me with is, I reached out to my accountant and I didn't hear back from him. I reached out to my accountant and it took him 2 weeks to respond to me. And then I got a bill in the mail that I wasn't expecting. Or, I reached out and I asked my accountant a question. I don't understand his answer. And I don't want to ask him to explain it again because he charges me hourly and I don't want to pay $250 an hour to not understand it at the end anyway. And so the big thing is just customer service. And that's what I tell my clients is, look, we're value-based pricing. I don't charge by the hour. Just pick up the phone and call me. Okay. Let me know if you don't understand something, and I'll find another way to explain it to you. And that really, again, it's something, like you said, Hannah, that technology isn't necessarily going to do. Is I ask my clients, what's the best way that you learn new information? And let me present this to you in a way that you can understand, because I want you to know your business. And so really, if you're not feeling like an expert, if you have self-doubt, if you feel like, I can't do this because I'm not going to be the best bookkeeper, that comes with time. But if you just go into it with the thought that I'm going to do everything I can to learn, I'm going to do everything I can to take care of my client and to listen to them and respond to them in a timely manner, man, you are just miles ahead of people that have been in business for 20 years. So, again, I really think it just comes down to getting started and just doing your best and being all in, jump in with both feet.
Yeah. And that really, what stands out to me that you just said is that you're helping people get to know their business and get to know bookkeeping. And I think that is so, so valuable. People, I think it might be a little bit of an underestimated part of being a business owner is just really knowing the ins and outs of your business. And I think bookkeeping is kind of the nitty gritty that not a lot of people love to do. And so that's why I think it's so important, especially hearing it from people like you who, you've built this super successful business from the ground up. What you're really bringing to the table is value. For people to know, not only are you helping people by getting their books in order and getting their finances in order and preparing their taxes, but they're learning from you. And I think that's such an important thing about why bookkeeping has such a solid future, is because if you're bringing that value to your customers and to your clients, they're never going to leave you because they need you. And so just to kind of wrap this up, let's say 5 years down the road, what do you think bookkeeping is going to look like?
Oh man, I have heard so many different things. The newest one being the AI learning automations, where, you have the AI watch you do a payroll journal entry and then it can do the same thing the next time. And so the first thought is, oh my gosh, AI is going to replace me, right? But the thing is that AI can't do that without you first, right? And so I really see that there is going to be in the next 5 years a lot of technological advancements that is going to make it easier for us to focus on that customer service, on the things that computers can't do. Yes, the actual day-to-day bookkeeping might look different 5 years from now. It might not, but at the end of the day, I think that we should really embrace the technological advancements and use that as our benefit to serve our clients better. So don't run away from this new technology, because it's really just here to make us better bookkeepers. And, at the end of the day, look, I have clients that still use flip phones. Okay. I have clients that are off the grid. They don't have internet at their houses. They have to go down to Starbucks to get on a laptop to talk to me. And I'm going to tell you right now, that client 5 years from now is not going to replace me with a robot. There will always be people, even if you don't want to embrace new technology, that want old school bookkeeping or, want today's bookkeeping, which I guess will be old school 10 years from now. There is always going to be a client that is in line with you. And so, the best thing I can say is just be true to yourself and be true to the company that you want. And if you put that out into the world, the clients, there's enough people in the world. Those clients will come to you that are in line with what your business is.
And I love what you said about not being afraid of technology and kind of embracing it and evolving with it. And I think that's such sage advice. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the I Love Bookkeeping podcast. Next time, please stay tuned. We're going to be talking about to niche or not to niche. I'm Hannah Robinson.
And I'm Melissa Honan.
Thank you so much for listening to the I Love Bookkeeping podcast.
I love bookkeeping. Here's a little shout to all my friends working hard at keeping the books. You want to change your life, you want to grow that biz. It's not as hard as it looks.